Today we are at Bennett Spring State Park near Lebanon, Missouri, and that bell means it's time to fish. Trout are not native to Missouri, so it takes hatcheries like this in order to produce them. Missouri has 5 hatcheries: Montauk, Merrimack, Shepherd of the Hills, Bennett Springs, and Roaring River. It's an expensive operation to raise trout, as you can imagine, from hatcheries like this. In 1937, the Missouri legislature decided that the trout fishermen should pay their own way, and they started selling trout tags. Each year, about 500,000 tags are sold to fishermen in order to fish for trout. There are 3 different lodging options here at Bennett Spring State Park. You have motel rooms, they also have cabins available, and then of course there are the campgrounds. So you can choose from primitive campgrounds, primarily for tent camping, all the way up to sites with full hookups.
Campground 1 is the only one that has full hookups, so it has electric, water, and sewer, and it is 50 amp service. Campgrounds 2 through 5 all have 30 amp electric, and they have water available at the campground but not on the sites. They're all reservable, as is campground number 1, and campground number 5 is the only one that is not reservable. It is just first come, first serve. But you have lots of options for campgrounds at Bennett Spring.
Two awesome things about this campground loop are that all of the streets and sites are paved, and so that cuts down on all of the dust and dirt. Another really nice thing is that almost every site is a pull-through, and that makes it really quick and easy to set up. There are some back-end sites. Here's site 147. It does have 50 amp electric, and it has water and sewer, but it is a back-end site. All of the sites in this loop have a picnic table, a camp ring, and a lantern hook.
The cell signal at Bennett Spring is fairly decent on AT&T. I've got 2 bars of LTE, and I've been able to use whatever I've wanted to on my phone. They do have Wi-Fi at the campground, and for the first time, I think, in most of the campgrounds I've been in, it actually has worked very well. I've been able to use everything on my computer on the Wi-Fi with no problem. And as far as over-the-air antenna TV, you get about 3, 4, maybe 5 channels. We have maybe 3 in our living room TV, and we had a couple more that showed up in the bedroom TV, which is kind of funny. But so not tons of them that sometimes we get in our Southwest Missouri area, but you do get a few, and they do come in clearly. One of the nice features of Bennett Spring State Park is that they do have several trails that you can hike. There are over 12 miles of trails total. Some of them are super short, just 0.3 of a mile, like little nature interpretive type trails. And then you do have 2 longer trails that both actually start at the same trailhead. You've got the Savannah Trail, which is 2.5 miles, and then you have the Natural Tunnel Trail, which is 7.5 miles.
Although Bennett Spring is amongst the largest springs in the state of Missouri, it does not have the spectacular reveal that some of the other ones do that you might find at a place like Big Spring. It's still a beautiful site with that clear blue water, and makes for a fantastic origin for trout fishing. Next to the spring is the gage house, as in water gauge, and you can access it by a very short trail.
There are lots of amenities staying at Bennett Spring State Park. The Missouri state parks, their campgrounds have lots of extras. They do have some nice playgrounds for kids to play on in multiple locations. There are picnic pavilions. that you can use for day use area. There's lots of extra parking because of this being a fishing spring. There is the trout hatchery, which is super cool. Trout are not native to Missouri. You may not know that. So any places that you're able to fish for trout in Missouri, they're usually going to have a hatchery. And there is a nice nature center that has some just basic exhibits about springs and caves in the area, but it's nice to walk through. And there are lots of trails to hike.
Well, they also have the restaurant that's on site.
Yeah.
And that's really handy if you're here camping and you don't have either the amenities to cook a nice meal or you just don't want to. The restaurant is a great option for that. There's also a store here on site. You can buy fishing gear, and then you can buy all the normal camping accessories and food and snacks and drinks. So that makes it really nice to have right here on site, right here at Bennett Spring State Park.
You can get your trout tags there too if you haven't gotten your fishing license ahead of time. So that's a nice thing there at the store as well. We have really enjoyed staying at Bennett Spring State Park in campground number 1, the one that has the full hookups. The only thing you might want to be aware of is that because there's a lot of day use traffic for people who are coming in just to go fishing, there are a lot of cars on the road and more than normal in a campground. So you might just want to be aware that there's a lot of traffic going by frequently throughout the day. But otherwise, this is a great family-friendly campground. All the things you would want in a campground, the best campground hosts, check-in people ever. They are amazing, so nice. Make sure you go stop in and say hi to them.
Okay, Jasper, here you go. There's your camping check-in card, okay? Thank you for coming.
We highly recommend this campground, especially if you love to go fishing. It's a great place to go.
So have you ever been to Bennett Spring? Get down in those comments and let us know. There's so much to do in this area and we would like to know what is your favorite. Get out and explore because today is an adventure day.